Howdy y'all, and welcome and happy first day of May. Hope everybody's doing well out there so far. It looks like we're going to be doing even more severe weather today, as there's an enhanced slight and marginal risk that has been issued. It's not like we've been doing with enough here as of late, because this past weekend we got out on some pretty significant tornadoes here in Oklahoma, Iowa, and Nebraska. Now I'm not expecting anything like that to occur today, but make sure if you live with any of these colored zones that you are hyperweather aware, as all hazards are going to be possible, which include a pretty big chance for tornadoes, as there is a 5% chance for that here in the red, and 2% here in the green. Now keep in mind, even if you're in the low end threat for tornadoes, you can still get in on that pretty big tornado, so make sure you have a way to get alerted and know where to go when that warning gets issued, and remain hyper weather aware. There's also a pretty big chance for damaging winds and a pretty big chance for large hail, which can be just as damaging as a tornado, so make sure you put anything you don't want damaged from hail or blowing around from high winds today. So move off into Thursday, we got a marginal risk for severe weather in Wisconsin, down into Texas. All hazards are possible again tomorrow, as there's a small chance for tornadoes from Wisconsin down into Kansas, and a small chance for high winds and large hail within the whole marginal risk zone. So make sure you, again, just like here on Wednesday, make sure you put anything you don't want damaged from large hail or blowing around from high winds. As we move off into Friday, we can see that there's another marginal risk. Now we do not know what the main hazards are going to be just yet, but make sure you follow my Facebook and X pages, as I do daily weather updates on there, and I will let you all know when the Storm Protection Center issues those severe weather risks. It's looking like this marginal risk has been issued from Nebraska all the way down into Oklahoma, and also includes Colorado as well. As far as Saturday and Sunday goes, there's no severe weather, but there is a severe weather threat here on Monday, as there is a 15% chance from Nebraska down into Texas. Now again, we don't know what the main hazards for Monday will be just yet. I will have my normal weekly forecast update upload on that day, so make sure you subscribe down below, bell notifications turned on so you don't miss that video. It's looking like Monday could be a very big day for severe weather. Now, other than severe weather, we do got some flooding going on, as there is a moderate risk for that down here by Houston, and a slight risk which surrounds that, and also includes states from Kansas up into Iowa. Now, I would expect upwards of right around 2 to 4 inches if you live within the moderate risk for flooding, and right around 1 to 2 if you live within the slight and marginal risk for flooding zones. There's also a chance for flooding here on Thursday, Friday, and on Saturday and on Sunday, so make sure you are aware of this if you live in a flood prone area. Say flood roadway again, turn around and do not drown. Now let's go ahead and get into the timing of when you could expect the worst of the severe weather for the next couple days. Take a look at this. We're going to have to take a look at the HRRR model. Keep in mind that date and time is up here if you ever want to keep track. And keep in mind all hazards are going to be possible within the enhanced and slight risk zones today. Now it's looking like we could be dealing with some showers and thunderstorms within the northern slight risk zone. But this ain't the main story. The main story is going to happen through the late evening into overnight hours, as some severe storms are going to start to roll through the enhanced risk zone by right around 9 o'clock. Now this isn't Eastern time. It's probably going to be right around 8 o'clock Central time. Look like we could be dealing with some pretty significant hail, and some tornadoes could be possible by right around 9 o'clock as we take a look at the significant tornadic parameters. Now, if you are new here and don't know what the significant tornadic parameters are, it basically puts all the ingredients for tornadic activity and puts it all into one run where you could possibly see a tornado at. That don't mean that a tornado is going to happen within that whole area. It just means that the ingredients are favorable for tornadic activity. As we can see, right around 9 o'clock, right around a 1 out of 10. Some areas could see a 1.5 to 2 out of 10 on the tornadic scale. So make sure if you live with any of these colored zones, you are hyperweather aware today, as tornadoes are looking likely. And if you know somebody that's not up to date on the weather, make sure you go inform those people, as this past weekend we had some people that weren't even aware that there was even a severe weather threat. So make sure if you have anybody that's not even up to date on the weather, make sure you keep them informed today. Now, as far as the winds go, I would expect upwards of right around 30 to 60 mile an hour winds with any of these storms that roll through. So again, I would expect the worst of the severe weather to occur through the late evening into overnight hours, before turning into mainly a flash flooding threat by right around 1 o'clock in the morning. So the tornado threat, I would expect that to occur from right around 9 to 10 o'clock. So again, if you are prepared, don't be scared, and please inform anybody that's not up to date on the weather, as that will save some lives. Let's go ahead and move off into Thursday's severe weather threats, as we do have an actual mid-video update. as there is a slight risk that has been issued actually down here in Texas, and they have extended the tornado risk down from Wisconsin down into Texas actually. So, and this also includes a significant chance for winds and hail as well. It looks like hail is going to be the main threat within that slight risk zones. But to push this forward to Thursday, we can see that the worst of severe is going to be occurring through the late evening hours again down here in Texas. Keep in mind, hail and winds is going to be the primary threats. And it looks like up here in the northern marginal risk zone, I would expect a couple rounds to occur. First round is going to be occurring through the early morning hours, and then the second round, of course, is going to be happening through the late evening into overnight hours. If you live within slight risk, I would expect the worst to occur the late evening hours with winds that could be gusting to upwards of right around 30 to 40 mile an hour. Some areas could see even more than that. So definitely next couple days looking to be a late evening into overnight severe weather event with all hazards that are going to be possible, including tornadoes. So make sure you're hyper weather aware, know where to go when that tornado warning gets issued, and keep in mind large and damaging winds can be just as dangerous as tornadoes. And make sure if you have any friends or family that are not up to date on the weather, make sure you keep them up to date. Forward them to this channel, make sure they have a weather radio, or just make sure they have a way to get alerted. They don't have to subscribe to this channel if they don't want to. Make sure that they are aware of severe weather today and really any day. Now, as far as the day 3 threats go, we're going to go to Weather Bell for this. Now, to take a look at the severe weather threats for Thursday, we're going to take a look at the Euro, take a look at the lightning flash density rate. This shows us where the most intense storms could fire up at. Now, it's looking like Thursday's severe weather threats going to be occurring through the early morning hours before getting out of the area, and we're really not going to be dealing with much after that. But again, this is subject to change, and I will keep y'all informed on X and Facebook where I do my daily weather updates, so go follow those, as I will be letting y'all know what the threats will be on Thursday and even on Monday. Now, if we take a look at Monday, severe weather threats, we're going to take a look at the central part of the country. Now, keep in mind that the 15% chance for severe weather is from Nebraska all the way down into Texas. We move off into Monday. I would expect the worst of severe weather to occur through the early afternoon into the late evening hours according to the lightning flash density rate model. Now, of course, this is obviously subject to change, and I will have a video on Monday breaking this all down, and I will obviously have this on Facebook and X when I do my daily weather forecasts, so make sure you follow those and make sure you subscribe down below so you never miss a forecast. Here always weather, we try to make weather forecasting fun and informative. Now, of course, we got some winter weather going on, so let's go ahead and get into that. As we take a look up here in the northwest part of the country, we can see that there's some winter storm warnings and advisories that have been issued through Thursday. Crazy, we're still dealing with snow this time of year. It's already spring and we're still dealing with snow. As we take a look at the NAM 3 kilometer, we can see that the most intense snow bands are going to be occurring up here in Canada, and that's going to be moving south into Montana through the overnight hours tonight into Thursday before it's going to start to diminish by Thursday evening. So watch out for some slick road conditions. If you have any ski resorts near you, get out and enjoy those. As far as the snow totals go, let's take a look at the national blend of models. As it's looking like we could be dealing with right around 2 to 4 inches in some areas, and within the winter storm warning area, I would expect upwards of right around 5 to 10 to locally higher amounts possible. So again, be careful if you have to head out. Don't head out if you don't have to, and get out. Enjoy those ski resorts if you have any near you. Now let's go ahead and get into what we could expect for the next couple weeks, as I know y'all probably clicked on the video to see if we're going to be coming in on this major heat wave and if we're going to be remaining cold or not. So let's go ahead and get into that, y'all. Now, as we zoom out on much of the country, we can see here on the simulated radar, this will take us all the way out into the middle of May, by the way. You can see we got some snow going on up here in the northwest, severe weather going on amongst the central half of the country. Really for the next couple days, it's going to be leading to some flooding going on. Going to be dealing with some flooding out east and some snow out west before our next system moves in by the 4th. May the 4th be with you, by the way. On Saturday, it's looking like we could be coming in on some heavy snowfall in Northern California and much of Oregon. Some severe weather down here in Texas by Saturday, potentially. And even more snowfall is going to be occurring out west, and more flooding is going to be occurring out east. And here comes our next storm system. Could be dealing with heavy winds over here in the north central part of the country, up in Montana and North Dakota. Some blizzard-like conditions up by Wyoming, potentially. More flooding going on out east, severe weather potentially up here by Wisconsin by the 8th. And it's starting to dry out down here in the southwest. More snow showers going on up here in the northwest. More sogginess out east. Some severe weather potentially down here in Missouri by the 10th. And even more sogginess going on out east. Starting to dry out west though, so that's good. And as we take a look at the Climate Prediction Center, We can see much of the country is going to be way above average for this time of year, except for down here in the southwestern part of the country, as I mentioned earlier. Y'all ain't hardly get in on any precipitation from the 5th through the 9th. And it's looking like from the 7th through the 13th. Looks just about the same, except for down here in Texas and Florida. So get out there and plant those crops. If I have any farmers watching, get out there and plant those crops if you live out east. But don't plant the advise against that if you live up here in the northwest, as some snow is going to be occurring by the weekend. So be aware of this. I get into the snow totals, as I show y'all the snow totals here in the national blend of models actually. This will take us all the way up to Saturday, because we zoom in here on the western part of the country. But you can see a lot of snowfall is going to be occurring. Now this is only through Saturday, of course. There's going to be some snowfall after that. So definitely be aware of some potential heavy snowfall, slick roads. As old man winter don't want to let go. Now back to the Euro to take a look at the temperatures. Y'all may saw in the thumbnail that we could be coming in on a potential major heat wave and some cold conditions up here in the northwest. It's going to take a look at that. So we can see we're going to be dealing with some really hot temperatures here on Wednesday for really much of the southeastern half of the country. Northwestern half is going to be still feeling a little chill in the air, as y'all going to be coming in on some snowfall up here by Montana. And that cold front's going to be coming through, as y'all going to be doing some severe weather on Wednesday and Thursday. And the cold air is going to be sacking further south by Friday. Then that warm air is going to creep north again. Then we're going to be in this back and forth pattern for quite some time. And then some really, really warm air is going to be in store this weekend. Really cold air out west. And then as we head into next week, look at this, guys. Almost 100-degree temperatures down here in southern Texas by the 8th. This is why I'm saying we're going to be coming into a major heat wave by next week. Now, how much above or below average is this going to be according to the temperature anomalies? It's going to take a look at that. See, the eastern part of the country is way above average for this time of year, but the western half is sort of below average. And we're going to remain this way for quite some time. Way below average temperatures out west, way above average temperatures out east. It's just staying this way for quite some time. As we take a look at the Climate Prediction Center, they're saying the exact same thing I'm saying, as we're going to be coming into a major heat wave by the middle of the month. Much of the country is going to be above average except for out west, where y'all going to be coming in on below average temperatures, as wintertime don't want to let go, as you could be coming in on some major snow over there. And as we head off into the next 8 to 14 days from the 7th through the 13th, it looks just about the same. So it's looking like old man winter don't want to let go of the west, but it's looking like an early summer is going to be in store out east. So I hope y'all enjoyed today's forecast. If you did, make sure you hit that like and share buttons so more folks are informed about the weather. Leave me some feedback in the comment section down below, as feedback helps provide you, the viewer, more informative and better content in the future. And if you haven't checked out my May forecast video, please do so, as I break down what you could expect for the month ahead, as we could have some April showers bringing some May flowers. And also don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below so you never miss a forecast, because here at Wins Weather we try to make weather forecasting fun and informative. Until next time, I appreciate y'all for watching, and never stop forecasting.